Good to have yours. Well, I've after fixing this little Hobart AMX 90, this one I think it is, made in 2014, and there's a $6 then. Now they're closer to $8.5 grand. They've gone up, these dishwashers. Actually, I'm doing for a customer that owns a cafe, so nice little dishwasher. What you can do, we go to our login. We want to prime our pump, so you go log in, too ahead of myself, log in, run. There's other things inside here where you can plug in a USB port and upgrade the firmware on this thing. You want to prime the chemical hoses, you want to prime them, say yes, prime both of those, and it's going to run these pumps, and that's going to prime these. What tends to happen, especially now with COVID and all these bloody shutdowns, when the restaurants have been closed, dormant, a lot of these dishwashers have, then they come back into business, these pumps aren't working because these get a bit of an airlock in the hose, and these won't pump during a normal cycle. You're not going to get any soap in your machine. So what I'm doing here, I've gone to the menu and I'm going to set it to prime, and it's priming itself now. I've just got water going through there, just clean water, and that's yeah, priming the chemical hoses. Just something we do as part of a service of these dishwashers. You disconnect the heating element out of circuit and ohm up the heating elements in the boilers, and keep that on record, and you go back in 6 months time and monitor the degradation. As the resistance drops and gets lower, we know the heating elements are on their way out. So you advise a customer to order a spare, keep it in their dry store, and then we can swap out the heating element before it fails, so no downtime. Other than that, these are pretty good machines. These are probably the best of all of the other brands, although the Marco, Euro Wash, and Class EQ 500 and Norris and S-Wood, pretty much all use the same parts. The Hanning make the motors and pumps pretty much for these throughout the whole lot of what are German-made dishwashers. Even Miele, they have Hanning German-made motors and pumps too. Obviously different completely to that one's in there, but it's these tend to get hoses that burst, and inside under here I had to make a repair because the plastic manifold that goes to the bottom wash arm, there's a plastic manifold that feeds that, and that had a bit of a crack in it, so I've welded that up and glued it and sealed it up, because I think it's be around a $300 or $400 part. Those wash arms I just showed, to replace both of those, it's close to $700. So they're not cheap. The newer Hobarts, all the arms on the bottom there, are all being replaced with plastic throughout. I like the Norris and I think Marco. They have metal arms, less to go wrong. But Hobart make their money with the arms, the wash arms, the wearable consumable parts. These chemical hoses, bloody cockroaches. Cockroaches love restaurants. These hoses inside here, peristaltic hoses, they can fail. They're a common wear part. The boiler elements, they're a wear part. And that's about probably $600, that element alone. Anyway, normally in a commercial environment, you plumb these into the hot water. And then a dishwasher only has to bring the temperature up for a short bit by 20 degrees or so, from 50 degrees in, and bring it up by 20 or 30 degrees. And that just takes a short amount of time in the commercial environment, because you get your 90-second wash. If you don't have the, like I've got, if you don't have these plumbed in the hot water, your 90-second wash feels more like a 90-minute wash, and your 180-second wash feels more like a 180-minute wash, because it has to bring the temperature up each time it washes and rinses and fills up back the boiler back up, and that holds these dishwashers up. I've had to, there's been a couple of places in town that have been like that. They've been, how come my dishwasher's not washing when it's supposed to in that certain time? I say, well, if you look where it's plumbed in and you feel the water coming in, it's not getting hot. We have cold water coming in. There's a USB port on the side here too, on this one. In newer Hobarts, this is all a nice glass panel and a fully digitised LCD display. And you can go in there and it's got Wi-Fi connectivity and everything. So we've got 15%, 25, 50, 75, 100%. Then it's going to be ready. And we go blue. That's your progress bar. Smells good. That pump's the main drain pump. Over here, FX98. That's the model right there. The AM90 is a hood one where you drag it pass through, it's called. The hood type ones. I'll have to get your light in there. Look, see if I've mended that leak. Giving the Waco a bit of a run. Haven't done that in a while. Since I use it in the take it at the Costco one. So up there, at least we had water squirting out up there. Hopefully it's all good now. But yeah, cockroaches love these bloody things. They're nice and warm and moist, and cockroaches bloody love it. The bastards, look at them all. But all the logic board for this machine, the logic board's up here, right on this cover. The logic board sits inside there, and that's the brains of the machine. We still have cockroaches in here. They're bloody things. Why don't give us a good blast I can press there before this thing goes back to the customer. There we are, we're boiling up. It's a 15 amp appliance, so running it through an adapter box. It's about 12 or 13 amps it's using there. It does warm the cord up a little bit, as you'd expect. She does get a bit warm, this extension cord. It's only a 10 amp cord, not a caravan lead, so it's a bit of a voltage drop issue. It will start, I'll go to start the wash motor and it'll hum for a little bit, then it'll soft start. Because of this extension cord, it's a little bit inadequate. Almost there, gets to about 80 degrees, then it's ready to go. Operational time, it's 580 hours, not that much, but 11,449 rinse cycles. We've drank 24,029 litres overall since it was new. 8 litres per day. Average remaining water quantity external water treatment system 14,000 litres. We haven't got water treatment on this thing. Hasn't got a salt thing on this one, or water softener I should say. Commissioned 28th of the 7th 2020. Well, it was made in 2014, so I might have sat in the shelf for a while, this one. But it's pretty cool things back in here you can have a look at. Machine type 0, not programmed in. Very nice. I like the LCD screen Hobarts. It actually tells you. The other ones are the LED segment displays are a bit more. You kind of have to work out codes on the screen and you can't really, you have to know what's what. A bit more involved. But you have an infrared interface here. The camera can see that. I can barely see that in real life, infrared. Underneath that you've got a little infrared port for programming the machine. Yeah, the boards in these are all programmable for different models of Hobart machines. If I were to replace this board, it didn't pay attention to the model and serial number and just whacked it in, it most likely wouldn't work. It'll have to be programmed to this model and serial number of the machine. I've had that with a customer in the past. Put the board in, but because it was for a different model, it had an extra sensor in the strainer in the bottom, which this machine didn't have. I couldn't start the machine. I had to send the board back to Hobart HQ in Sydney, and I had to program it correctly to that specific machine it had to go in. Anyway, she's getting there. She's getting there. Still 75%. Has to bring it up and fill up as it's going. But because it's getting cold water back into it, it's slowing it down. 100% now. I can press a button and she'll start washing. See how it kind of hesitated to start? Because that extension cord is not a caravan rated cord. Not quite the CSA rated cross-sectional area cable there. It's all like a testing there. No, we're set up a leak. Ah! Bloody hell. Back to the drawing board. the drawing board. I'll get the back off and have a look where the leak is so you can see it in detail. Basically where I made the repair, I'm careful under here. There's live parts under here, so be careful. You can see there, that alarm here has a crack. And to replace that, you replace that whole assembly there all the way back. That's about $300 worth of plastic there, so I'm going to have to get back to the drawing board on that. Yep, there we go. Alright, more glue, more welding. I might have to take the boiler tank out, which is not hard to do, pretty easy actually. Take the boiler tank out, you know, if I take this side panel off, under the hoses on the boiler tank, and just lift it out of the road, under those hoses there, and she just comes out. Oh, I'll have to weld that. Look at that leak. There we are. Oh, back to the drawing board. That leak's a bit worse than I thought. That's just a lot of heat and cold cycles have done that. But judging by the oh well, it's done a bit of work, I suppose. And that's the only thing that's wrong with this machine is that leak. It's normally, yeah, it's actually, there you go. Oh, nice steam, it smells good, that soap. But basically you got this little bit here. These wear out, and that can wear out, and this part here has been changed. This part where it clips on, that axle, they've changed that now. That's a slightly thicker, and this won't fit the new axle. They've changed it. So Hobart has made a few changes over time. But this bit here is a common wear part. Just clips on there. Top one's obviously very, very good. Anyway, just got to fix that leak. Thanks for watching.